Hello, it is January 2022. I know in my previous video I said that I wasn't going to feed people's addiction for negativity, and I don't plan to, but I simply want to highlight a few points that I've observed, especially over the past few days. And I'm going to be using the example with this truckers and convoys and everything that appears to have started in Canada, with the US closely following, and now it's spreading around the world. And the last I've seen, people have donated over $7 million towards this so-called cause. Now, I've talked about in videos how marches, protests, and all these other things are part of the plan. And people who call themselves awake truthers, they're buying into it. Hook, line, and sinker. And a lot of people see me, for example, as being negative because what I have to say about this latest worldwide event with these truck drivers and everything else. And I've said in videos, people are carelessly throwing around the word hero, but I digress. People are focusing on this, and people don't like the truth, the facts that I've presented, which is, for example, we're looking at as a very liberal number, 10% who are independents, true independents, who would be involved in all these things. And you have to think that these people could very well be not working, or there's shortage of work for them. So this is an opportunity for them to do something and not only get paid for their gas, but get paid for their time. Now, what I really want to focus on here is this mass psychology that's being imposed. In order to control society, you need society fractured. And we see this, I've talked about this with social justice movements. Society has been micro-fractured to the extreme, where even people are arguing about pineapple on pizza. And we're not going to get into that argument. I did a video on that. And people are just buying into it, the people who call themselves awakened truthers. So in order to control society, you fracture society, especially with something that's really emotionally charged. You have the two polar opposites. You have people who are going along with current worldwide events and what's being imposed, and then you have those who are opposed it. And I did a video about how even the people who are opposed what's being imposed with current worldwide events, how they're divided from people actually thinking there's something going on, but they don't trust the alleged cure, to whatever. There was like 4 or 5 different examples of how even this group is divided up. So we have two polar opposites now who are in conflict. And the people who are against what's being imposed in current worldwide events are the minority, not the majority. And I know it even, I was going to segue for a second. The official narratives with current worldwide events are skewing the numbers to one extreme to support their narratives. And you see in the people who are against it all, skewing their numbers and skewing the facts and everything else. And it could be something as simple as a meme or a joke. I've seen posts with a joke, and a lot of people were commenting to that, not realizing it was a joke. Now, I would like to put everything up here beside me as I normally do to show what I'm talking about, but I can't, so just bear with me. Someday I'll get back to making proper videos. So really, I just wanted to highlight how the system needs everyone to be fractured. We have the two polar opposites, and this is exactly what they want. And now they have something new with to heighten everyone on the one polar opposite, who's people who are going against everything. And a lot of people are merely going against what's being imposed, not for the sake of anything more than they just don't want to be told. Their egos, which is the wrong reason. And I've said many times that all these protest marches and everything else set people up for failure. And it's just a constant bombardment with false hope, where people are like, oh yeah, we're doing something, nothing happens. And then slowly that erodes people's, for example, morale, the group's morale. And people will start to cave in thinking it's all hopeless. And a lot of people, as I've said, see me as being negative. For example, even with my copy and paste comments with regards to these truckers and convoys and stuff, seeing me as negative, where in reality they're the negative ones, and they're the ones that are trying to hang on to false hope. And what I've been saying all along since this began 2 years ago, that we are repeating a literal 100-year pattern. Accept it or not, I really don't care. I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything, nor am I telling anyone what to say, think, or do. It's totally on everyone else. And this particular phase of this pattern lasts about 3 years, roughly, give or take. So we only have about a year or so to go. And then it's just going to go poof. As I've said many times, I use the word poof, because that's what happens. People don't want to accept that. People are thinking that they're doing something. And I've questioned. I said, what are people willing to sacrifice for anything, on any topic? And because we're repeating this pattern, I've questioned as well, what are people doing differently today than people in history to stop anything? We see a generational commitment by those imposing, whereas people today, it's all about me and now. And now they're delusional, thinking that they're actually accomplishing something with strategies that are already anticipated, built into the plan of those imposing. It's playing out perfectly. And I don't know what more I can say about that. You know, it is what it is. So I'm not trying to burst any bubbles. And I've even had people PMing me saying that the reality, the truths that we all share, that I present, you know, could be dangerous to some people, because some people might, for example, self-harm. Well, that's not on me, for one thing. And two, if these people are that fragile and they're hanging on to false hope, imagine their state of mind when everything just falls apart because of the false hope, doesn't accomplish anything. Where are they going to be then? So I really don't want to beat this down any more than I have, and lots of other people. I've talked about all these online celebrity types going along with the people who are against everything, and how many people are talking about all the suppressed cures and all these hidden things and everything else. You know, it's all anticipated. People don't want to go along with what's being imposed, for example, with an alleged cure. So they have the same type of thing over here, saying, you know, the people who are against everything are going, oh yeah, see, we're on to you, we're too smart, you know, we're not going along with that, we're going to take this other stuff because this is the stuff that you're trying to hide. It's like, okay, it's reverse psychology, and it's working very, very well. I've talked about, you know, exosomes. Look that up. And I actually was talking with someone in the medical profession about that. And once I highlighted exosomes, they did a quick refresher and came back and said, yeah, you're right. But people don't want to listen. People don't care about injustice until it potentially, or it does, happen to them. And all the countless of other people like myself, and I'm not the only one who has sacrificed everything more than once to whistleblow and expose truths and facts, and to really fight for truth and justice, sacrificing everything, leaving me personally, I can only speak for myself personally, in the situation that I'm in life right now. But, you know, nobody really cares about that. People have been so socially conditioned with Hollywood movies and everything else, and and all the glamour and everything. Most people just don't see, if it's using these truckers and stuff. And I'm not taking it away from them. I'm just saying this is all part of the plan. But people look at that and all the hype behind it, and there's a big push to hype it up. People buy into that. People are suckered into that. And there's real people who go under the radar quietly because no one cares. And one final point that I would like to make here is, and I've said this over many, many years, everything ties in together. And for example, what makes my story, my case in Alberta, unique, more unique than others, is I showed in real time, and everything's still up, how injustice is imposed. And this formula that I am sharing with the world is the same formula that's going to be used on everyone when injustice is imposed on them. But no one wants to pay attention. No one wants to even entertain that possibility of that reality. People are trying, frantically trying to avoid the inevitable. But the true hope, and I've been saying this, is know that nothing lasts forever, good or bad. And what we're experiencing now will end on its own. But in the meantime, having the two polar opposites now, and everyone being all hyped up, emotionally charged with these truckers and convoys and stuff, and $7 million climbing. And I'm trying to get basic needs met, a new laptop so I can do find some online work. Nobody cares. It's mind-numbing. So take what you will from this video. I've just skimmed over a whole bunch of points. I would have liked to really get into more in depth on each point, and again show screenshots and as I normally do with my videos, to further support everything with independent evidence. But it is what it is, right? Work with what you got, overcome, adapt, and move forward, and be prepared. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.